Follow the Celtics on Twitter for exclusive team news, coverage, and offers.
So, Danny, what do you think of the pick?
Well, it's a little disappointing. We were hopeful for something better, but the odds says that number 6 is probably the most likely, so we've certainly been prepared for number 6. Oh, well, I think that, first of all, having the number 1 pick is not an easy task. I would like to have that task, but it's not an easy choice, and I think that way in the first handful of picks, including our pick, it won't be easy. There will be choices there, kids that are have a lot of potential. But I don't think anyone's going to come in and change the face of our franchise out of the gate, but I do think that there's some good quality in this draft.
What kind of player can you expect to get with the 6th pick? Somebody that can become a starter next season?
No, probably not. I mean, listen, this group of guys are very young in this draft, and some are more ready to play than others. That probably won't have as much of an effect on who we draft based on their immediate ability to impact our team. But there's some that are more ready to play than others, and I don't know who's going to be available at 6. Time will tell.
Danny, in 2007, you traded the 5th pick as part of the centerpiece for Ray Allen, but now the value of the first-round pick has definitely increased over the past year or so. Do you still think that a draft pick at your position can be the centerpiece for a trade?
Has joined the conference.
I think that draft picks are very valuable, and I think the 6th pick has serious value. How serious? I don't know yet. We haven't had a chance to talk about it or explore that even. So we will look into exploring that now that we have some clarity on where we are.
Jerry Washburn here. Is it kind of a relief just to get clarity now on where you are? And with what you saw in Chicago, is 6, can you get a cornerstone with that pick? Not obviously for next year, but maybe eventually?
No, I don't think you can get a cornerstone, no. Not in this year's draft. I think you can get a player that is capable of starting on an NBA team and being a starter on a winning team. I think that we'll have our options with a handful of guys. I think it'll be a very difficult choice because I feel like they're, through the lottery, there are some real projects, and then there are also some guys that I think can be developed into good starting NBA players, but I don't know if there's any cornerstones.
Hey, Danny, do you think you have a decent idea of how the top 5 is going to sort out before you get there? And does it feel
Murphy.
And does it feel like
Has joined the conference.
The top of the draft is a little more, say, jumbled than in years past? Maybe the order isn't quite as set depending on the teams that are there?
Well, so, time will tell, Paul. I think that, what everybody's writing about now and what everybody's projecting in the media, I've been around long enough to know that that's not always how it works out.
Right.
So I think that it's not clear-cut. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be clear-cut for me if I were drafting top 5. So, I have an idea of who may or may not be available, but I don't know for sure.
Having 2 picks this year as opposed to what you've usually had in the past, how much does that increase the number of players and the variety of players you have to look at?
That does spread it out a little bit. We have a player up in the top 6 and 17. That does spread it out, but I think that again we'd like to see our top 40 guys come in to do workouts. I don't know how many we're going to get in, but there is a lot of work to do in the draft still.
Danny, does your second first-round pick, are you looking more at need there, considering that your first pick will allow you to go for the best player on the board?
Probably not, simply because our need right now is quality players. And, So we'll look at the best player with the 17th pick too. If we in fact keep that pick, it'll be trying to draft the best player.
Now that that you guys know who you're picking, how excited are you about the next month in continuing to shape this franchise to return and to? I mean, this is kind of where where you cut your teeth and where you make some really big decisions.
No, I think it is exciting. It is fun. This is an exciting time of the year. It's an exciting time for our franchise. We can do anything to taking the 2 draft picks and continuing to add to our young talent, or we could make some bigger deals that speed up our process, and everywhere in between. So I think that everything's possible, and it's going to be really interesting next month.